Not until 1 in the morning, as the last coffee cups were being cleared from the dinner table, did Mrs May finally get to speak to her fellow leaders about Brexit, and then only for 5 minutes. With Russian ships in the Channel and an ongoing migration crisis, their minds were clearly elsewhere, not least on a free trade deal with Canada that is in big trouble and which should serve as a stark warning to Britain. 50 miles from Brussels in the Belgian region of Wallonia, a parliament that represents just 3.5 million people is blocking 500 million Europeans signing a deal with the Canadians. We never paid much attention to the Walloons before, but we're going to have to now. Because, as the region's Prime Minister reminded me, he will hold the exact same veto power over any post-Brexit deal between Europe and the UK.
Can you imagine a scenario in which this Parliament here would block a trade agreement between Britain and the EU?
I hope this will not happen, because I hope we will be consulted much earlier in the process. If we can give a mandate, we will be very clear in the mandate about what for us are the basic requirements.
But you have the power to do it.
We have the power to do it.
Stop CETA! Stop CETA!
Outside, anti-globalisation protesters who oppose more or less any trade deal with anyone promise they too may fight the ratification of any future UK deal.
And if the same provisions are in the deal with the UK, we will oppose it just with the same strength.
Canada's Trade Minister had flown to Wallonia to plead personally. Her verdict was pretty damning.
Il semble évident pour moi, pour le Canada.
It's now evident to me, evident to Canada, she said, that the European Union is incapable of reaching an agreement. Even with a country with European values such as Canada, even with a country as nice and as patient as Canada. And back in Brussels, even European leaders are in despair at what the possible collapse of this deal, known as CETA, may mean.
I am afraid that it means that CETA could be our last free trade agreement.
To my mind, if there are all these problems to have a simple trade agreement with Canada, just imagine an agreement with the United Kingdom. Thank you.
If Theresa May does decide to go for a hard Brexit, Britain will need some sort of deal, and within just 2 years. But she insists the UK is going to be different.
We're not looking to adopt another model that somebody else has in relation to their trade with the European Union. What we want is to develop what is a new relationship for the UK with the EU.
For the UK, of course, that relationship will not be a luxury but an economic necessity. And nothing that's happened at this, her first summit, suggests it's going to be easy.